Are you tired of waiting one turn to attack with your creatures? Did you know that 3 out of 7 Magic players suffer summoning sickness?
Just ask this scientician.
Wait no more as we present Samut the Tested by subscriber Raul. Samut is a 3/4 haste enabler with haste herself. Oh, and it has flash, so you can sneak it in at the end of your opponent's turn. Oh, and it has vigilance. Oh, and it has double strike. Oh, and it can untap another creature. Oh, what a freaking card. No more introductions, subscribe to the channel. What's up everyone, welcome back one more time. You know the deal, we play Historic Brawl. Today we are playing with Samut, Voice of Dissent. Subscriber submitted deck. Thank you Raul for this wonderful aggressive deck that we are going to test today, because who needs summoning sickness when you can run Samut and avoid that, right? So we are playing up against Queza, so this is a classic matchup of aggro versus control. Versus Queza, we know already from playing this deck on the channel, we need to avoid at any cost their combos, and they combo with Lich's Mastery, they combo with Peer into the Abyss, so we know exactly what we have to be afraid of. So here, well, we play the Temple of the Triumph tapped, Scry, then we can go Black Market Tycoon. So we are looking at trying to accelerate our mana to play Samut and maybe some of these creatures with haste. And let's see, oh, Teferi, that's annoying, because Teferi can handle Samut on the battlefield by phasing it out. So we'll see. So we cannot attack with hasty Samut on Teferi. Okay, so an Archamancer is nice to reduce the cost of our spell. So let's create first a little treasure, then we can put these land into play on green, and there are multiple sequences that we can try here, but one of them might be to actually go Guardian Project. I don't think Samut is the right play here, because we force them to -2, but we are not putting pressure. And if you're not putting pressure, we should be drawing cards. That's the other way we can beat them, by outdrawing them. So let's go Guardian Project and let's get advantage of this quickly. So let's draw a card, reduce the cost of our spell. So this turn for us is kind of set up more than anything else. They have a active Teferi, we have an active Guardian Project plus an Archamancer and Market Tycoon, so this game is pretty even right now. We'll see if the cards in our hand are better than what they currently have in hand. Alright, so they play a tap land, which makes them play off curve for now. Those are the little things that you need to pay attention, like who is playing on curve, what are the small advantages that you keep getting through a game of Magic that actually matter in the end. And sometimes just the fact that they play the tap land right now means that we are going to be better. Because now they play a 4-drop instead of a 5-drop. It's a good? Wow, I don't know, that Planeswalker is not good. It's good enough to get rid of one of our creatures. And we have a tap land ourselves, but we can draw many cards, which is good because they have 4 cards in hand, we have 4, and we can either go Samut, make them use Teferi's Phase Out ability on Samut, and when they do, at least we will have drawn 2 cards, and we can attack successfully into Niko Aris. Alright, so Samut, as we expected, is phased out, and we can free attack Niko Aris. Alright, I think we gained advantage on that exchange. Samut now is phased out, which is convenient for us, so they cannot target it until our next turn. The only concern is that Teferi loots so many bad cards away from them. Like, I believe they have just done this for like 3 or 4 times. So they got rid of 3 useless spells and just have 4 good cards in hand, which is concerning. Yeah, like that. Okay, so that is not too concerning. Like, extra turn spells are annoying when their positioning the board is way ahead of ours. That's when you cannot beat extra turn spells. When we are ahead, extra turn spells are most likely kind of a weird ramp draw a card spell more than anything else. So we are not too concerned by seeing an expensive extra turn spell. Alright, so Queza is here, which means we can deal with her because we have Brutal Cathar, we have the Bounty Agent. Bounty Agent with haste is an immediate threat. So we might as well play Esper Sentinel. So if they want to do something, they might. Okay, alright, so Baleful Mastery. They were going to do that anyways. At least they give us a card, so that's not too problematic. Samut goes back to the command zone. So now we have an active Esper Sentinel, and we can either play Samut again or we can Brutal. I think we need to avoid being comboed. If there was no combo with Queza, we wouldn't mind playing Samut and waiting for a turn, but we know that we can lose next turn. So let's get rid of Queza. What do? Do they put them on the exile zone? Or do they... Oh, they leave it under Brutal Cathar. So one of their 2 cards deals with a creature. And let's attack. I think I want to just attack with an Archamancer. Because we need... Oh, no, we already had 3 mana available. I want to play the Guardian Project again. They loot away an island. And yeah, we missed a point of damage on Teferi. I thought we had just 2 lands and a Llanowar Elves. Kaya. Okay, that's the answer for the Brutal Cathar. So Kaya is going to exile Brutal Cathar. They're going to get back Queza. They crack the shard. Bottoms and draws. Pings us. Loots. Pings us again. Alright, so how do we beat them here? So I think we can do... I think we got... Alright, so let's see. Do they face out Samut? We can Bounty Agent or we can Sigardian Evangel. Alright, so they will Bounty Agent. So Samut is no longer active. What we can do here is like we can play Sigardian Evangel, tap Queza, and get rid of both Planeswalkers. Unless they have Pact of Negation in hand, which they don't. Alright, so we tap Queza with the Evangel trigger. And then we have exactly 4 damage to get rid of both Planeswalkers. And Samut will remain faced out until our next turn, which is also, again, a nice thing to have. But they have Queza, so we are completely weak to their combo. That was a spot where we could have lost, really. But I think now we are in a better shape because we have a good... Oh, and even his... Can we play both Historian and Kogla? I don't think so, right? Like, I would definitely love to play both, but it's not a possibility. Let's get rid of Queza. We get rid of Queza, we draw another card. Ooh, Great Henge. Alright. Bye-bye, Queza. And we don't have 4 Boros mana for Blaze, so we might as well play the Great Henge and pressure them with Legion War Boss. Draw a couple of cards. Wow. Who would have thought that we could draw so many cards with this deck? Very good build by Raul. Oh, so now I can mention that I've just changed a couple of cards. Maybe 6 or 7 cards overall that I feel more comfortable playing with, and I'll tell you exactly when we play. One of these was Legion War Boss, and the fact was that when you're enabling haste for your creatures, then cards like Legion Warboss can be... Ooh, Day of Judgment. We can protect Kogla, right? Like we can bounce a human to our hand and make it indestructible. Alright. Hidden mode in Kogla. So I added some creatures that are especially good with haste. Because you want to abuse the haste enabling ability from Samut. And I just happen to love Legion Warboss and Krenko and some of the other cards that I added. Yeah, and Kogla surviving was the different factor there, so yeah, good one. On to the next game. We continue to play with Samut, Voice of Dissent, submitted by Raul. And it was a long time since we have played a aggro deck, so it fits pretty nice with our schedule here. And yeah, hopefully you're enjoying it and you become a subscriber. If you're not, if you are a subscriber, let me know what you think about these decks. Let me know if you have another deck that you would want to see on the channel played. I'm so happy with the people that are actually submitting deck lists. We're growing day by day and think that there's just wonderful things that we are going to do in the future. And I also want to give you more tactics, explain better how to approach some games. I think that it's one thing that I've noticed. There's not so many content creators around like actually giving you real advice on how to approach games. Right now we are playing against Isshin. What they are trying to do is they are trying to attack us. Very similar strategy from ours, but they are more like in the duplication of triggers. And we must avoid Isshin on the battlefield at all costs. But we don't have many good stuff that we can be doing. So we are going to do one of our classic setup turns and just play Guardian Project and see if Guardian Project can find us more action. Ooh, we don't like to see that. That might be the best card to go with an Isshin on turn 3. That's the nuts. Lelia, it's nuts. Because they trigger twice, that's so much card advantage. And wow, they played interesting. They played a Zokensan from hand instead of playing the... I think it was Jetmir Garden? I don't know. A Triumph. Alright, so we play a beautiful Stomping Ground. So right now we are already winning. Because we just play beautiful lands. And we are trying to ambush them with Samut here. But even that's not going to work. Because now they can pump up Isshin with Aurelia. I mean, their setup is crazy right now. I don't think we ever beat them. Because double trigger from Lelia finds them a gold spent dragon, and well, at least they cannot cast those creatures. But we are being hit by... They are not attacking with Isshin, which is... Why wouldn't they attack? Well, I mean, alright. So we saved 5 points of damage right there. Because now we can, let's see, we can draw many cards. We have Tamiyo Safekeeping, so let's draw a card from the Paradise. Ornithopter of Paradise. Let's draw a card from Esper Sentinel. And I believe we can play the Knight of Autumn to gain life. And hold up Tamiyo Safekeeping as well. I don't know, we are just trying to survive here. Okay, so Knight of Autumn as a champ blocker that gains us 4. We cannot destroy anything. So gives us another card, and I guess we can attack with Samut, because if they try to block with anything, we still have the Safekeeping, and Samut has Vigilance, so those are 6 points of damage for free. Okay, we'll see. Interesting that they decided to play Sokensan from hand, and now they're having mana trouble. Brutal Cathar. Okay, we can fizzle the Cathar trigger with safekeeping. This makes Samut indestructible too, gains us 2 life. Wow, so to me safekeeping is such a broken well, I mean, it's not broken, it's just an efficient card for a common, right? Like instant for 1 mana, instant hexproof indestructible, gain 2? 1 mana? Those are the little cards that, yeah, can actually decide a game. Okay, so opponent has a very bad attack here. I don't know why they attack with Ishin, because we are going to eat that. So, unless they have something really, really good for 1 mana in hand. So we can chump block the Lelia and eat Ishin, because Samut has double strike, among many other keywords. So they are losing Ishin here. And we are just taking 4. And we have a good follow-up turn. Okay. And they bolt the Esper Sentinel, giving us a Glory Bringer. Ooh, Blade Historian too. So a couple of things we can do. We can maybe play the Paragon, cast things from our graveyard. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So access to 8 mana. So maybe here is Historian and Paragon. I don't know if we are going to attack. We can give haste to everything. Historian gives double strike to attacking creatures. But I think if I'm going to double spell for 8, I might as well use the 8 mana that we have, like this Historian. We drew a Balagat Recovery, and we already played the land, so we can go Paragon. Gives us a good blocker in the air. So now what I'm thinking is next turn we can play many creatures from our hand and from our graveyard, and maybe steal a victory with Blade Historian giving double strike. You know what I mean? And I believe I also am supposed to attack with Samut and steal another 6 points of damage. Yeah, this gives us a very big chance next turn to kind of Legion War Boss, Glory Bringer, something like that. Alesha. But I think that I did not plan this correctly, because I'm going to have to chump block the Lelia. I'm not going to 3. So the Blade Historian tactic was actually not very smart. I don't think there was a better play for us, but it's not going to result for us. Okay, so opponent has multiple things in the battlefield. Question is, I mean, if we hit them with an all Gnawbone in the battlefield, then we can deploy many things in the battlefield, right? That might be our way to victory. I'm thinking about how many treasures can we make? We're putting them on a situation where they will have to jump block, and they don't have blockers for both flyers, so to the very least we are going to make 3 more treasures after attacking with Gnawbone. Let's try that. You can maybe spot other ways to attack here, but I like to do this. I like to pressure them with the flyers and some moods. See how they want to block. Either way, we are getting at least 3 treasures, meaning we are going to work with 5 mana in our second main phase. We can win life from the Knight of Autumn if we wanted to. They're chumping the Gnawbone with Aurelia, and they're chumping the Zamuts with the Cathar. Okay. There we go. And so we are making the 3 treasures that we expected. And see, I think of all the things that we can do, the one that I like the most is to gain life right now. So I'm going to cast a Knight of Autumn out of the Serra Paragon. This gives us an extra card. We gain the 4 life. Just a land. Okay. We still have Samut available to untap some creature. Because we can champ block Lelia with the Knight of Autumn and maybe steal the victory on the air. Okay, here comes the big attack. Alesha triggers. They pay for it? They pay. They bring back Brutal Cathar. Okay, so they are going to target Samut. They drew a Den of the Bugbear. Okay, let's see what they target. They target Samut, but this is great because now we can Old Gnawbone. Look at this. We can untap Old Gnawbone. Let's see what they have in hand, but if this works for us, and we are getting back the Samut immediately. Because we are going to decline the trigger. We are going to let Samut go under the Cathar. Decline. Chump block the 10-10. Eat the Cathar. Take 6. Go to 4. Alright. This gives us back Samut immediately. And for some reason I'm gaining 2 from the... Oh, from the Serra Paragon. Serra Paragon is so good. So, because we lost the Knight of Autumn, brought back by Serra Paragon. Opponent scoops up. Wow, how we turned that game. They have an insane hand, an insane setup. They were ishing into Lelia, into Aurelia. Wow, what a comeback from Samut. Awesome, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we continue to play with Samut Voice of Dissent, submitted by Raul, versus one of the best in the format, in the form of Prosper Townbound. This hand. If we hit our land drops, this hand could be good. We are on the draw against Prosper, and you know what Prosper tries to do. They try to exile as many cards as possible, gain access to multiple cards, make multiple treasures, and go off. So very big deal in playing against Prosper is getting that first removal. And oof, black market. All right, so opponent is going to set up with a black market and get rid of... Wow, perfect hand, right? Okay, so yeah, dealing with Prosper means we need a removal spell, and we currently don't have, and we don't have much better things to do other than check out what they are working with. Bone Crusher, Cut, and Reckless Impulse. Those are very, very good cards for them. So I guess we make Bone Crusher more expensive, but I don't know, because now they can pay. Yeah, they are going to go full black market life paid mode. So they drew one, made a treasure, and put a 3/2 on the battlefield for the small price of 6 life. And they play Prosper and can still deal with our board. Wow, this is a perfect startup for Prosper. And we can only look at that and play a Esper Sentinel and a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Now, these matchups are so difficult, even when, so when you are on the draw, it's... Maybe we should have mulligan. I mean, we should mulligan more aggressively when you face these type of commanders. Maybe one thing that I would add to this deck is a little bit more interaction. We're trying to do everything, but if the opponent executes their game plan better and faster, then we are left behind. Yeah, you can see they are killing everything. You know, we're bored. They are even killing themselves. So we are winning because they are at 13. And can we find 30? They are losing even more life. Go to 10. Can we find 10 damage out of nowhere? A Ganjo. So a Ganjo at least allows us to have one light of hope, which is Samut at the end of their turn, plus something crazy like Kogla with haste. I don't know. So Marian Master. That's crazy because now every time they sack a treasure, they're going to ping us for 4. Here comes the damage. Yeah, we take 4, we take other 7. Okay, so we can Samut eat one of the 3/2s because we cannot block Prosper. I mean, Prosper has Death Touch. So we can just eat one of the 3/2s, soak up some damage. And there's a world where we trample over them, but that world is not going to be this world. We can either go with flying and haste. Remember, they have black market connections, so we just need to deal them 8. And they lose to their triggers. But I don't think we have 8. We can just Gargaroth and Gargaroth gain life. And maybe they don't have a way to deal us 11. I mean, this was closer than it felt, but just because they took so much damage on their own, like that was 16 damage on their own, and we dropped them to 3. Wow, just a lightning bolt range. 2 damage, like 2 damage, and we would have won this one from greediness. Opponent could have died from greediness, and here's where we lose because they can play anything from exile, make a treasure from Prosper, and sacrifice the 3 treasures, deal 12 to us, and we die. So good game, we will concede here. Move on to the next game. This will be our last round of playing with Samut, Voice of Dissent, and we are matched up against Mono Green Ashaya. Interesting. Oh, we are once again on the draw with a hand that I don't really like. Too expensive, so let's mull. This one I like it because we have a Menagerie Curator, and that's good enough. Okay, opponent with the Abundant Harvest finding what, a ley line? I don't understand. Alright, so Dryad, Green Seeker, and that's going to let them filter cards from their top of the deck, and we will cast a Curator. Got Eternal Oketra in our hand. That's a card that I added, Raul, from your build. I mean, I changed your... I don't remember what I removed, but I think God Eternal Oketra gives you a very big reward for just casting creatures. So if you can stick a Oketra in the battlefield, I think that with Samut and its capacity to give haste to the team, you can start building a very big and fast army. So that was the reasoning behind it. Like the same as Krenko, another creature that is benefited by having Samut. Not right now because I'm playing its own curve, but if we top deck a Krenko with a Samut on the battlefield, that's often very good play. Blizzard Brawl, our Krenko. Alright, so we can either remove some things. They are missing land drops, so we can either remove the Dryad, or we can do our own thing, which is playing Samut at the end of their turn. And you know what? We are not being pressured by them, so let's execute our game plan rather than keep leaving them behind. Because, yeah, they miss land drop again, and they play a Llanowar Visionary. So we had two choices. We either delay them even more or we execute our game plan. And we are playing just to showcase Samut, so we are going to execute our game plan. First order of business will be Skyclave Apparition, their Llanowar Visionary. So now we delay them. We pressure them. And then we can do two things. We can Black Market Tycoon, draw a card. Black Market Tycoon has haste now, so we can immediately tap it for treasures, which means that if we play this untapped, we can even a Narcomancer right now. Wow, this is where Samut is crazy. Giving haste to everything, and we can attack them for a bunch. Dryad try to find the land, they do. But I think this is very late for them. Beast Whisper, and yeah, we can do so many things. Opponent scoops it up. And another victory for Samut. We have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this build. It was a very good build. If you like aggro, if you like attacking, and if you like attacking with haste, this is your build. You can continue watching another video from the channel here. And if you don't, then we are going to see each other on the next one.